Welcome to Voices from the Valley, where we meet and learn from the movers and shakers in and around the Merrimack Valley. And now your hosts, John Bachmann and Ben Tallberg. Hey, Ben, we're back in the studio again. And one thing that we've been talking about with this whole podcast deal that we've been doing is creating more content for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit selfish, right?
Yep.
Because content is so important. You were doing it previously at AFA.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking more about the big change with AFA.
Right.
But you used to do a lot of content, and you're starting to do it again.
The best I could, yeah. But it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It is. It is. And for small businesses like ours, we need to get out there. And we need to be on the social platforms. We need to be on our websites. And we need to have content everywhere. Sometimes it's tough for us to do it ourselves. That's why there are people out there that can help us with that. And today we have an amazing guy. We have Jon Almas in the studio with us. Jon Almas comes from Aeropex Media Creative. But not only is he the founder of that, he is the husband to Deandra and father to Aria. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How you doing today, John?
I'm a little tired because of the one-year-old, but I'm good. Thanks for that nice intro.
Oh, of course, man. We're excited to have you in here. We've been friends for a long time. And we're going to learn a little bit about your journey, and those out there that don't know you, they're going to learn a lot about you. But before we get too far into Aeropex Media, talk to us how you ended up founding a video production company.
Yeah, so we have a little history. That's kind of where it all started, is where me and John know each other. I was working at a job that I didn't really like. It wasn't really ticking all the boxes for me in insurance.
And it wasn't because of me.
No. That was the best part of the day. Yeah. So I've just always been into like technology, and I went to school for business management and marketing. I got this pretty good job out of college at an insurance company, worked my way up doing fraud. It went downhill a little bit as far as making me happy, I guess. So just one day, I've been working on the side with the video business. I'm hitting the table. You told me not to do that.
I won't hold it against you.
Everyone does it.
No, you sound great.
When I'm interviewing clients, they do that. I know your pain. So I will stop. But yeah, so just decided one day, knew I wanted to have kids eventually. I was in a decent spot. Just go for it. So I think that was 2018, and I like to think that I wasn't horrible back then, but I was pretty bad if you look at some of the stuff I did. But just kind of evolved and got to where I am today with AM Creative, and where we blend the line between a marketing agency and a video production company.
All right. Let me back up for 1 second, because you breezed over your history really quick. You said fraud in insurance. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I started electric insurance company, which is how John and I know each other before this world, I guess. I was customer service, then claims, and then fraud, which is when, like, for instance, someone tries to light their car on fire for insurance money. We'd be the people to try and prove them guilty, for lack of a better word.
And what was the process?
Just
it's interesting to me.
Look at all the facts. Hire, like, for instance, let's use the car example. Hire fire investigators to see where the fire started, if they could find a source. If there's gasoline, obviously, inside the car, obviously someone put it there, and then you just kind of interview the people making the claim, see what you can prove, run it by the lawyers. They get paid or they don't get paid.
So it wasn't like you just all of a sudden just grabbed a camera and started following them around behind the scenes.
No, we didn't use much. Towards the end, I did kind of help implement drones, although that was more in John's end of the world. You were home claims, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used drones for like roof inspections and stuff, but not so much on the fraud end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit of taste of it right there is what I'm thinking.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
A little bit of taste of the drones and the camera work or something like that.
And he didn't dig in that far.
Let's go.
Like, John would go down to, like, Brockton in the hood by himself, interviewing people that we think are shady folks to find out, are they shady or not?
Oh.
Yeah. So
I got a few death threats. This guy was like, I'm going to kill you if you keep looking into things. And I mean, he never did, obviously, but.
Yeah, so it wasn't like you were behind a computer and you were telling somebody else to go down to Brockton. It was literally you getting out there.
50-50. So, like, we handled claims throughout the U.S., so we would hire people to do it in, like, Texas, but if it was in Boston, I would do it.
Okay.
My boss and I.
Okay.
Shout out to Jim Byrne.
Jim Byrne, good guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the fraud end of the thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it got old after a while. You're just seeing the bad things, and people are not happy to see you, and it just, time to go.
It is tough. And he went from claims, which is you're always hearing the negative stories, and it's tough.
Yeah.
And there's a special person that can handle claims and for a long period of time. And then he went over to the fraud side, which is that much more difficult. So he did some amazing things, but there's no wonder why it wasn't checking all of those boxes in your life. And you've always been a creative guy, that side of your brain. And just bringing the drones into an insurance company. At that time, a lot of companies were starting to, but this guy got his pilot's license early on, and one of the first people I know in the country that was doing it for the insurance company.
Well, full disclosure, I did it for myself, but it just happened to be easy to implement and get on the boss's good side to do it there too.
Yeah, but that's awesome. And obviously it helped with that transition into you decide, I'm pulling this trigger, I'm going to start my own business, it's going to be a creative company. Like, what was the thought process there of, I'm going to take this leap? Because, again, not to go too far down that road, but it's a very good company, fantastic benefits at the time. Well, they changed a little bit. But then you said, shit, I'm doing it on my own.
Yeah, I remember that day very, very vividly, because that was it took me like a week to get the courage to do it, and I just did it one day. Like I said, I was going to have kids at some point. I didn't want to have kids relying on me when I quit my job with benefits and stable income. And I had a good few weeks of revenue on the side, and I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
It's just,
So talk to us about Aeropex Media. What do you do now in terms of that creative content that you build for clients?
Yeah, so now we do, like I said, we focus on the marketing side of things. So we're more of a marketing company than a video production company, because if you make a video for someone and they don't do the right things with it, they're not getting a return on that video, right? So we focus on the strategy of it. We're, like I said, a little bit of a marketing agency and a video production company. We cater to local service-based businesses for the most part, real estate agents, builders, construction, anyone who relies on kind of being found on Google, SEO, that kind of thing. If you're selling $5 products, not usually the best fit. So we really, I'll give you an example of a client we just kind of took on, who is a real estate agent who had strong referral-based business, but very little digital presence, I guess you could say. So we went through the whole strategy, and we're going through it now, identifying ideal customers, how to reach them, what they're thinking when they're looking for this agent, and then we create a strategy to attack it, from marketing with video content, photos, to the customer journey, making sure that everything from marketing to sales to referrals and repeat business is enjoyable, so that they do give more referrals. So that's kind of the long and short of it.
Yeah. Real estate, you see a lot of it these days. Real estate agents are posting videos, posting pictures. Some are good, some are less good. What separates you from some of the other folks that are doing, either the real estate agents that are doing it themselves, or those other marketing companies out there that are doing similar things to you?
Yeah, there are lots of good options. I can think of 3 companies that I know, the owners personally in the area that create great content, great photos and video. We really put our background of marketing and customer service into it to make sure you know what to do with those videos. We have a software that I've been developing for a year now that will automatically follow up, funnel software. So, I like to think of marketing as having a strategy versus the tactics of it. So I ask a lot of people, what's your strategy? They'll say, I post to Instagram or I post to TikTok. And that's not really a strategy, that's a tactic. And those change every month just about. So having a strategy allows you to easily bounce between the changing tactics, platforms, and your message, your specific value, what you're doing, you're just applying it to the different platforms and tactics, what email marketing, whatever it is. So we focus on that side of it, so someone really is in a better spot with their overall branding and messaging, and they know what to, they can pivot easily rather than having just all your eggs in one basket on Instagram or TikTok. Like TikTok, it's banned, then what do? So
So it's branding is really the number one thing that you're first looking to build, is trying to get them more exposure for more business, or is it particularly for business? And the way, let me put it into perspective. I'm just like, if you're a real estate agent, we come to you to get more branding for myself and my real estate agency, or for one particular house?
Hey, Ben, what's new with you?
Hey, buddy. So we have changed our name.
What?
Yeah, we've gone from Amesbury Foreign Auto to AFA Auto Repair. It's just more simple. This gives us the opportunity to show that we also work on domestic vehicles. So we're foreign and domestic now. We're looking to just, it's pretty easy. You see what we do, and it opens the doors to more customers that we can help. Because there's a lot of people that have an Audi, but they also have a Chevy. So this kind of shows that we're now AFA Auto Repair. We're based out of Amesbury, but we could be based out of Newburyport, Salisbury someday. Ooh. Hey, we could move around. So this takes away the Amesbury part, the foreign part, and it really should help us kind of grow. That's what we want to do.
Awesome. So, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
AFA Auto Repair.
Yeah, that's it. Here we go. If you're a real estate agent, we come to you to get more branding for myself and my real estate agency, or for one particular house?
Well, we do both. When I started this, it was just actually marketing for houses, but we've kind of evolved. But we still have a team of a few photographers who go to houses and shoot listings, photos, videos, floor plans, all that stuff. But we've evolved in the last year or two to really focus on the strategy part. So like the overall everything, websites, SMS follow-up, that kind of, everything to put those videos and photos into action.
Now, are you acting as the quarterback, or are you involved with the actual, you said websites, SMS texting, are you building those as well too, or do you work with other partners for those types of things?
I oversee it all. I have a small team that mostly help with photography and editing and that kind of stuff, but I'm still a part of everything, and nothing leaves to a client without me looking at it first.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's funny, I was getting, I know, Ben, you love him, Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm hearing tactics versus, he would call it religion, strategy versus tactics, and you're on the same vein there too. I'm guessing you're a Gary V guy too.
I follow him, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have your shoes on still?
I don't have your shoes on. I'm kind of dressed up, kind of fancy today. Although today's a golf day, so I'm excited about that.
I got my clubs in the car if you want it.
There you go.
Oh, hey, now I could go for a practice round beforehand. You asked the question when you first came in here today. You asked Ben and I, what are you doing with this content? And I did exactly what you were just saying. I gave you the tactics. So if you were running a podcast that's on YouTube and Spotify and Apple, what would you do with the content?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Well, so this is one tactic in your toolbox, right? This is like, I see you posting like on Instagram just outside of the podcast. So this is one thing you can put into your overall strategy, which I guess is probably lining up with local homeowners and car owners, I guess you could say, right? And you're just trying to get in front of them. This is one way that you get in front of them. Business owners too, because you do business insurance.
Yeah. So it's funny.
So what I do with it, I mean, I would just cut it up and put it everywhere.
Blast it everywhere. So it's funny. I'm trying to think about my strategy. And we're opening up the kimono a little bit here too. So there's a strategy for Norwood Insurance Agency and AFA Auto Repair. There's a strategy there. But also we have to think of Voices as a separate entity too. If we're being honest about it, how do we grow this quote-unquote business to get more customers, more audience, more people to interview? So there are two strategies involved, or three strategies involved of how to make it work. So,
well, I mean, it all comes down to who you want to do business with, your ideal clients. So that would be different for Ben, different for John, and then how you can use this to reach them. What are they thinking when they look for car repair or home insurance? And then you tailor what you put out there to meet them at that point, and then you bring them along the journey of, I like to say, know, like, and trust. You have to get someone to know, like, and trust you before they do business with you.
Yeah, and that's part of what this is all about, is they start to know us, and they're seeing us as characters in this podcast, and hopefully they like us. They probably like Ben more than me.
I doubt it.
And then the trust part, that's something we've talked about, and again, we got open kimono here of how do we do this so people trust us, that it's not just a tactic that we're going out there of, yes, we're involved with these local businesses and we care about how they get through their hurdles and struggles, and how can we learn from them, and how can other business owners learn from them. So there's a lot behind this.
Yeah. I mean, getting someone to trust, this will help like establish yourself as a expert on the subject matter, but social proof is always good. So like someone who's had a big repair for a car, get them giving a testimonial on video, Google reviews too, just prior clients. Social proof is huge for trust.
There's nothing like video too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a picture is one thing, but having video, seeing and hearing that one person or whatever is amazing. So
yeah, and beyond the power of that it's the power of the algorithms too. All the platforms out there, they love video a hell of a lot more than they like pictures now or just word posts as they used to years back. And can you go into that a little bit of trying to figure out the algorithms and what works best?
That's always changing. That's one of those things where it's like if you focus too much on it, you'll go crazy. But photos are sort of making a little bit of a comeback, and especially like community and interaction. So Instagram, they're really going for the direct message and one-on-one communication. The partner, I think it's called or partnership. When you post, you can do a collaboration with someone. Those are getting a lot more push than before. Algorithms, Google is pushing out the new G4A, the new analytics thing to help you kind of gauge what's working with your search, your ads. That's a whole new world too. You could spend like a week on or more on each of these things. So it's just, I don't know. I always say follow a lot. Either work with someone who's has a finger on the pulse of that stuff, or just follow some good blogs and like people online.
But isn't that the concern, that if you're doing what the other people are doing, you're getting lost in the shuffle too? So how can you do something different but still show up?
It all comes down to being relevant. So Google, especially like with Google, for instance, you could use AI to create a blog and just throw it out there, and if it's relevant to what the people are looking for that you're targeting, then great. I think it'll help. But if it's not, it will de-rank you, I guess you could say. So just putting stuff out there that people want is, at the end of the day, the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want? We'll send it to you. So we're talking about all the good stuff now, Jon. But when you started that business, when you took the leap, there had to have been some major challenges of getting that business started to flourishing. Talk to us about some of those challenges you've had along the way and how you got through them, and what it was that made you better.
Shout out to my wife for dealing with me working, I don't know, 15 hours a day. Mm-hmm. I feel like I did 2 years of just nonstop. It's like just work, fail, improve, work.
What were some of the failures, though? I mean, you basically walked away from the insurance company. You had a camera, you had a drone, and what'd you do day one? What were some of the first things that you had to do to make a living and just to keep going?
Did tons of local in-person networking. I wasn't really on the pulse of the digital marketing SEO stuff back then. I went to millions of meetings, and I think I cold called a lot of I focused on real estate agents back then. That's how we got most of, that's how I paid the bills. Mm-hmm. And I just went to agencies, brokers, walked in, said, hey, let's do this. So I still have a few clients from back then. I appreciate all the trust people put in me back then, but yeah.
So you went absolute cold of knocked on the door. You walked into these real estate agents' office, say, hey, I'm Jon Almas. This is brand new to me. I'd love to take pictures and video for you.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That takes some serious
that's
cojones.
I was motivated AF to get at it. I really did not like my job at the office.
Yeah.
Wow. That's any business person can learn a lot from that, because cold calling sucks. Mm-hmm. And cold visiting is probably even that much more difficult. Mm-hmm. But it pays off. How quick or how slow did these people start saying, all right, yeah, we'll throw your flyer, we'll test you out?
It was so long ago, but I mean, pretty quickly. I mean, I was able to support myself since then. So,
wow, like that's amazing to me. That I'm trying to think, if somebody knocks on my door at the insurance agency and says, "Hey, I want to do some video for you," I mean, get the hell out of here.
Right.
Well, now, I mean, anyone can. I was lucky because it didn't really exist that much back then. I was like one of maybe 3 options, and I really put a lot of effort into the quality back then. Now everyone has. There's like, it's easier to do things, I guess, with better quality. And there's a lot of people who have since emerged as great at what they do. So there's a lot more into differentiating myself now than before. But back then there wasn't many options. I feel like so.
Well,
I apologize. 2018, 19. Did you do the Amesbury car show? You fly over it with the drone and all that stuff.
I forget which year, but I did I did a lot of stuff for I moved into Amesbury in 2016, and I worked with Cassandra back then, who's now the mayor.
Yeah.
At the chamber, doing a lot of like local events. So yeah, I did Amesbury Days, the car show, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, because I remember Apex being part of one of those flyovers there, and I was impressed.
Aeropex.
At that point. I'm sorry.
Actually, I'm kind of rebranding now to AM Creative.
Hold this up here.
AM Creative.
AM Creative. We're all changing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
AFA.
Yeah, AFA. So I'm thinking just timeline. You left insurance industry about 2018.
2018, I believe, maybe late 2017.
And I feel like the car show was around there. So you picked it up pretty quick to get exposure, and you really hit the road and you ran with it. So
yeah, Amesbury was a big part, I think, into like my exposure back then.
Yeah.
I don't get out as much as I used to now with the baby, but
So Amesbury Chamber, is that
just like the town, like people were really receptive, all the businesses, and holds a nice place in my heart.
So what was the first thing you did then? You established this business, and you said, I need to meet people. Did you sign up for the Amesbury Chamber right away? Did you reach out to other people in the community?
I did, yeah. I mean, I signed up with Newburyport and Amesbury Chamber, but I just went to a lot of local like both the chambers, marketing events, and yeah, I mean, it seems like so long ago. My memory's kind of faded, but I just worked. Yeah, I was just reaching out to a lot of local businesses. I had help along the way from other people who were more established.
So I'm involved with a lot of chamber events. There's a lot of good that comes out of those, but there's some bad too. One experience, and I try to tell this to people that are going to these types of events, is if you're going to go, understand there's a lot of salespeople in there, and they're just looking to sell to you. And if you go in with that mentality, knowing, all right, there's going to be just those salespeople, it's not the greatest thing. But if you go there to build relationships, which it sounds like you were doing.
Yeah, I'm the least salesy person there is.
No.
But I probably should change that a little bit. I mean, like to a detriment, but yeah.
Yeah. But those events are so important, where you're meeting people that you probably would not come across in your day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. And why I still go to as many events as I possibly can. And it's tricky with your day job and your podcast job and family time and stuff like that.
Yeah. Half the reason I went is because I just sit alone all day. And so, getting out, meeting people.
Socializing.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, that worked because you build trust and referrals and people know you. Yeah.
No, and that's all, especially so the small business owners and business folks out there that are listening, get out to those events. They're so important, and meet other business folks like you, learn from them, and that's what this is about as well.
But you can't do just one.
No.
You can't just go to one and expect referral after referral after referral. You have to continue doing the networking over and over and over. As tough as it is for some of us. And
you have to understand, and you have to figure out what your goals are going to these meetings as well, too. If your goal is to get business, where I've heard it from people of, I've been to X number of meetings and I still don't have any business from it. Well, you're going in with the wrong attitude. That is not what those meetings are for. If you say, you know what, I got a coffee appointment out of it for next week and I'm learning more about this other business, those should be your goals. If I meet 3 new people and I have 1 new appointment, good on you. It shouldn't be how many sales do I have.
Yeah, and how many business cards can you hand out? Just here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go.
I hate that.
That's not networking.
No.
That's just.
I heard back in the day, it used to be a goal to get rid of your stack of business cards.
Yeah.
If you got rid of your stack of business
walk
cards,
in the room and throw them all over the place and walk back out. You may as well.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
What the hell?
Sorry, let's get back to it, John.
I like it.
So if you could give some of those business folks that are thinking about pulling the plug from their corporate job right now, starting on their own, what kind of advice would you give them right now in preparation of making a big change like that?
Well, first of all, just doing it as a hard. I mean, if you're confident that you have service or product that has a market, then you just got to do it. And if you're motivated and you really want to be successful and you're prepared to spend 12 hours a day, then it's possible. But you just got to do it. And you got to keep going. And if you fail, just look at it as a chance to improve, right?
First attempt in learning.
Yeah.
Fail.
First attempt in learning. Okay, I like it.
See that?
Mm-hmm. Got that.
But also, I think focusing on let's say it's a video business, don't focus on the gear. Focus on the value that you give to people. Don't worry about the competition. If anything, make friends with them. I remember when I started, that was like a big part. Since it was such a fresh industry, like video and drones and marketing, there were some people who were cutthroat and some people who weren't. And most of the cutthroat people either don't exist or I don't know. But just being friendly and there's business to go around. And once you know your unique value, competition doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. Brian, the agency owner here at Norwood, he says it all the time. If you're a landscaper, you're not going to mow every lawn.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's this is an old NASCAR line of co-opetition. Yeah, you don't need to be best friends with them, but you get along with the other insurance agents, the other auto repair facilities, videographers, because you never know when you may need to refer business that way if you have too much on your plate, and you need to have those relationships there.
Did you find that you were passing off some work to other?
Yeah, for sure. We were in the wedding industry for a little while, not so much anymore, but that all the time with that, and even now with the business. Like a few weeks ago, someone asked me to do something, I couldn't do it. I gave them a list of 2 close friends.
And you're not worried about like, oh crap, there goes that lead, and they're gonna take off with it.
I mean, if I'm being honest, maybe like a little bit, but like that's just human nature. But not really, because if a client wants to leave me to work with someone else, it's not their fault. It's because I'm not giving them what they need. So if the relationship isn't fruitful for both of us, then what's the point?
I love that. We actually, in the automotive industry, we might get too crazy busy. It's like, hey, these guys right up the street, they're amazing. They still do all the training that we recommend too. Try them out. And again, yeah, you're right. If they stick with that shop and they continue for the rest of the history, then we did not do our job at one point, keeping them completely satisfied, 100%.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I love that.
One question I have, you brought up the wedding industry. That can be quite lucrative. I'm sure it's crazy. You used to do a lot of that. Why the change?
John, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Ben?
Hey, so how long has Norwood Insurance been around?
Norwood Insurance has been around forever. We've been protecting families and businesses in the Merrimack Valley for over 150 years. So if people in the Merrimack Valley need to insure their homes, their autos, their businesses, you just need to look to us, Norwood Insurance Agency.
Got it.
One question I have, you brought up the wedding industry. That can be quite lucrative. I'm sure it's crazy. You used to do a lot of that. Why the change?
A lot of time. I mean, we had a good little team going with Jake and I, Jake's another video business owner who did the weddings with me. It's just weekends are tough to be away, especially now where I have a kid, and it doesn't mix well with like other projects because you got to put so much time into editing the wedding. It's probably around 20 hours per wedding. So if you're doing 4 or 5 weddings a month, it's a lot of back end work.
Wow.
And I couldn't really ever get the trust to hire someone else to edit them for me in the way I wanted. Kind of lost my I don't want to say I lost my passion, but it's just too much going on at once. I mean, we still do film a few, like I have 2 this year that I built a little team that's helping me out with it. But it's not the focus.
That's all. Now, do you do a lot of your own editing still, or do you do most of it?
Most of it. I mean, like I said, I see everything before it goes out the door. Will, who's one of our editors, helps a lot with that and filming. I think he was here with some of our events. But yeah, I'm involved pretty much throughout the whole process on everything, which maybe needs to change a little bit. But
it's time consuming.
Yeah.
How many employees do you have?
They're all contractors, to be honest, but we have a team of 3 people who consistently help out. Some of them, like Jake, owns his own business as well. So, and he's gotten busier and busier, which is good. He can help me out less, which is bad. But, I mean, it's good to see him grow as well. So, yeah.
Is there ever a need for offshore help? like I see VAs in some other businesses, especially with small content. Is that ever something that
I haven't hired any VAs. I have a few clients who do.
Yeah.
And they'll do like simple stuff like blogs or whatever. So I see there's a need. I've never done it. I just haven't done it. But
Well, it's time. It's the most valuable commodity.
the software I built does a lot of that stuff that VAs do.
What? Did he just drop some major knowledge on us or what? Some software I built. All right. What software did you build?
It's called AM Connect, but it bridges the gap from marketing to sales, I guess you would say. It helps with conversion. It has like social media planners, posting tools. It has a big feature is funnels. So like you get people into your funnel to know you, and how do you convert them to a sale? This helps with that through automated follow-up, through landing pages. There's probably all kinds of features I'm forgetting, but it's a cool little. I have this unhealthy obsession with the technology, and like I've built computers growing up, and it's just this goes into it. And like organization, I spend way too much time like getting my CRMs in line, and so that's kind of what made me.
So is this like a CRM? Because you're mentioning the funnels.
Yep.
So it's a CRM that has added on tools to send content, close the deal, all of that as well?
It's a CRM as well, review management. I have a client, kitchen business, that got a sale from it within a day of signing up, because it gives you other channels of communication, all of your communication funnels to it, social media, Google, cold calls, anything comes to it. And if you miss a call, one of the coolest features is it will automatically text them back and say, hey, it's whatever business. I saw that you called us. How can we help you? This helps with people who are Googling like insurance agent near me. They'll call one. If there's no answer, they'll go to the next one. So this automated text back feature kind of helps engage, even if you don't pick up because you think it's spam or you're busy or whatever.
I need to see this in action.
Yeah. Well, to me, honestly, it's all gibberish. I think it's a lot of stuff. That's amazing. I go to the spot of like, okay, I guess I'm a client of Aeropex. Does this come with my subscription? Is it a subscription based? Like, how do I join Aeropex? What happens?
The software is subscription based. Anyone could technically join, but I kind of keep it to people I know and industries I know, so I can help onboard them and make sure it works for you. So I don't really necessarily have it open to like anyone in the world, but yeah.
Which industries are you focusing on right now?
Service based. Anyone who relies on getting found on Google, like plumbers, real estate agents are huge. We know that industry inside and out. Builders, construction, home renovation,
auto technicians, and insurance agents.
That applies. Yeah, that qualifies.
We'll be talking after this.
Yeah, we could be talking.
So I want to learn more tactically about this. So, and Ben, you were saying gibberish, and hopefully I want the audience to fully understand this too. So a CRM is a customer relationship management platform. So it's all your clients' prospects are loaded into the system, and you can do different things with them. You can get them ready for some type of sale or some kind of service, but also you have the marketing piece, in which not all CRMs have that aspect to it. So you can market the individuals without having to worry about just blasting it out on Facebook, is what you're telling me, John?
It's sort of yeah, there are marketing tools like your social media planners and stuff, but you really need to come up. It doesn't create content for you. Yeah. It just helps you streamline everything into one place and follow up and not miss any kind of leads or communication. I hope that answers your question.
It does. And we use similar tools in the agency. In insurance, there are very insurance-specific technologies we use. So we actually use 2 CRMs and an agency management system, which is like a service platform. And then we have everything else, all the other tack-ons. The reason my eyes lit up and everything is because it's all in one place, where I don't have to go over here to do social media posts and then over here for my sales and then over here for the service aspect.
Some people who have like industry-specific tools still need to use it because it's not going to like, I don't know, PII, whatever. It handles a lot of everything else.
But like the real estate agents, they're using their real estate management platform. I don't know if it's like Dot Loop or those other one. I might be
Yeah, some of that stuff still. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
like DocuSign and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hand built it for real estate and like local service-based businesses. It was a blank slate that I built up to have the exact workflows and tools that I thought would help.
Now, is that all coding work too, or is it?
No, it's a pretty good back-end system where I don't have to do much coding. So
That's awesome.
luckily.
Yeah.
What's the vision for Aeropex? I mean, you've got 3 contractors helping you out and stuff, but is this something that you want to build up to like 10, 20?
I still struggle with that every day. I don't know. Part of me does, part of me doesn't, because I like having control.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like free time. So, I mean, the vision is to just kind of hone in on the whole marketing strategy stuff and really help other businesses. Because I think for a while when we started, we were creating videos and just kind of focusing on being a videographer, and maybe people didn't do the right things with the videos, or they weren't actually created with the ideal client in mind, and they kind of fizzled out. So we want to make sure that if we work together, it's profitable for you and it's a good mutual relationship.
Mm-hmm. Do you just brought that up. Do you get a lot of not complaints, but do you get people saying, you did a great video for us and I got nothing out of it? Do you get that?
No, people usually who don't. I mean, going back a few years ago, I can think of people who I created videos for, and I would just follow up and monitor and see like if they were used, and I just noticed that they weren't really used, or they were using them incorrectly. And back then we kind of just handed off. I'm talking like 3 years ago plus, but we would just kind of hand them what they paid for and then move on. And so I didn't really like that model. I really wanted it to be more like a partnership and make sure that we're putting them in the right spot to know what to do.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like right here, we're trying to make our interviewees snap, like pop. You know, like we have this pressure on us to make it sound good, look good, ask the right questions, all these things. You've got that pressure every time you have a new client and every time you're looking to make their business better. It seems like a lot to put. I mean, it just seems like a lot on your shoulders. Is it? Or
it is, but I mean, I'm pretty organized, I think, with like systems, and so that helps. But it's a lot, yeah. Because when we work with the client, I feel like we're kind of like joining their company as their marketing department, you know. But
if their sales
fun.
don't take off, then is it all on you?
I mean, I don't really. Not really. I mean, we don't really say, "Hey, we're going to get you tons of." I mean, it's great to see the focus of this. One of the things we measure is sales. Mm-hmm. So if that's our goal, it's not always the goal. It could be, brand recognition or whatever. So
sure. I
mean, sales is always ultimately the goal at the end of the day, right? So if those don't at some point go up, then we're not doing something right.
Yeah. You mentioned some people that have helped you out so far. Can you think of any mentors, coaches locally here that really kicked you in the butt and got you to where you are right now?
Locally, what's his last name? Hold on, time out.
Get it right.
Matt Forcier. I couldn't, for some reason, I have an agent with another Matt. I was getting confused. But Matt Forcier was great when we started, as far as like more on the wedding side, I guess, because he did wedding stuff. But he's a good contact. We still work together every now and again. But not a lot of local. I mean, follow people nationally. One of the things I did, to be honest, that helped me the most was, so when I started, it's a lot of Facebook groups. You're trying to figure out, like, you're trying to learn from everywhere, which is what I was doing. And throughout that process on Facebook, there were a few groups that we were in. And there was a few standout people who we always interacted with. I'm from Florida, California, Vegas, Michigan. And so we all kind of created our own group. And it was just with the similar people who were trying to leave a day job to do a video business. There was about 8 of us. I don't know. There's a little bit less now. But we've all become good friends. We've met up. I met up with a few of them in D.C. a few weeks ago. And we really push each other. We like check each other's work. And we're not local, which is kind of cool because we don't have to worry about like...
No stepping on toes.
Right, or giving out secrets that are going to help. So that's kind of helped me a ton. So shout out to those guys.
Held each other accountable, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, if you said you were going to do something, you better do it, or else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm always a believer of the people you surround yourself have a huge effect on you. So like surrounding yourself with like-minded people is huge.
That's why I got Bachmann.
Yeah,
you're screwed.
All right. So as far as legacy, so if somebody, your friends, family, what do you want them to take away from your life, what you've accomplished, and what you want them to think about you if you happen to just not make it home today?
That's
What's
a
your legacy?
deep question.
Yeah, we want.
Hell yeah.
This is your time. Like, put it through here. What are you going to tell your daughter? What do you want her to know about you and what you were thinking? And
I thought about that a little bit over the last year or two, because I was working a ton, and I don't want to be thought of as someone who just worked and didn't have especially not having a daughter, didn't spend time with their family. So I guess just someone who was motivated to do what they wanted to do. Like my daughter, I would want her to be like whatever she wants to do. If she just rules out any other options and focuses on that, she could do it, I guess, right? Because I never thought I would. I mean, I remember there was a time with my brother when we were trying to figure out how to edit. Probably in 2016, I was like, I want to do this full time for my job, and I just said it, not really thinking whatever happened, but it happened.
And that's freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. We hear that all the time, and I think we share the sentiment, Ben, of just let our kids do what they love, follow that, and whatever happens, let the cards fall as they lie. And that's awesome. And you're a great example of that, of saying, shit, I'm tossing it in the wind, and let's see how this goes. So it's admirable to pull the trigger like that.
Thank you.
You got it. If there are people out there that want to talk to you about your services, or even people that are looking to get into the business, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Social media, Instagram, the website, email. Do you have show notes? You can put that in the show notes.
It's absolutely going in the show notes.
Anything really, anything on social media, email, website.
Awesome, man.
Is there anything you want to go over that we haven't talked about?
I don't think so.
No, we hit it all.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Woo-hoo.
Right?
Did we really?
I didn't know what to expect. It's kind of like my head's on a swivel.
I know, it's hard.
I never know who to look at.
You're
but
doing great.
Impressive setup.
You got a
Kudos.
great, that camera over there is going to help you out. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Good equipment. Just real quickly before we sign off here, I loved your comment about the equipment, because I remember when I was first starting with any of my video work, people were saying, hey, what do you use? DSLR, da-da-da-da, all that stuff. These freaking things are so powerful now that any business owner to start video content, this is so much more powerful than a lot of the equipment out there.
It's crazy.
So,
you can.
So use it. Use your phones. You'd echo that?
Yeah, if you have too many things, you just don't. Sometimes you don't create because you don't know what to use, and you're thinking about using this lens, that lens, this phone, this camera, and just having less options.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, you could buy anything and be at a pretty good level of quality. So,
hell yeah,
it's not as important.
Look at us.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
This is impressive. Got all these lights.
We're grinding through.
Yeah.
We're learning as we go.
Yeah, making it work.
Well,
8 cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all of our cameras combined don't even equal the cost of your tripod over there, for Christ's sake. All right, Ben, I think that's everything I have. Do you have anything more?
No, just less Johns.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
This
No
is
H.
getting confusing.
No H.
We'll have another John next week. Yeah.
No, John, it was awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, really appreciate you
This was
coming out
cool.
and sharing
This
with
was
us,
fun.
man.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun.
And you took pictures of my Fremont house too, by the way. Year
Fremont,
ago.
New Hampshire?
Yeah, you were in my house taking photos last year. Yeah,
I don't
it was
remember.
for Mark.
But did it sell?
Yeah, I did okay.
Okay.
No, you did great. It was actually
Good,
you
good.
took some angles, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That
That's
really
not
didn't
my house.
That didn't show. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But looking online, I'm like, holy shit. I'd buy that.
I'm not going to move now.
Yeah. So, what's up?
Awesome, guys.
Sweet.
Thanks so much, John.
Cue the outro.
Thanks, John.
This has been another episode of Voices from the Valley. If you'd like to be a guest or know someone that would be a great guest, send us an email at voicesfromthevalley@gmail.com. Want to learn more about Ben Tallberg and AFA Auto Repair? Head over to afaautorepair.com or call 978-388-5959. Want to learn more about John Bachmann and Norwood Insurance Agency? Head over to norwoodinsurance.com or call 978-372-5921. Thanks for tuning in to Voices from the Valley.